All right, so moving on to the final segment, I'll be sharing my best and worst booking decisions of Triple H's booking decisions in the calendar year 2024. So I can sit here all day, all night with you guys talking about the booking decisions that Triple H has made. He's made a lot in 2024, but for the sake of time today, I have what I do believe are my three best booking decisions that Triple H has done in 2024 and my three worst booking decisions that Triple H has done this year in 2024. So we'll start off with the three best booking decisions in my opinion. So let's start off with number one. Number one has to be the way how Triple H has booked Drew McIntyre in the calendar year 2024. Drew McIntyre is that picture perfect heel, and Triple H and the rest of the WWE executives have given Drew McIntyre the ball, and he's completely ran with it this year. I mean, he's been an absolute great heel. Great promos, great storytelling. His story with CM Punk has been one of the greatest storylines in all professional wrestling this year. And in the ring, Drew McIntyre has had some big moments. He won the Elimination Chamber this year. He won the World Heavyweight Championship against Seth Rollins in the opener of Night 2 of WrestleMania 40. Even though he only held the title for 5 minutes. He did win Mr. Money in the Bank this year and only held it for an hour and a half. But you guys get my point. He's had a lot of big moments in the ring this year. He's defeated the likes of Seth Rollins, CM Punk. The list goes on and on. And also pinned Cody Rhodes this year as well. So the list of accomplishments that Drew McIntyre has done in 2024, Triple H has booked them tremendously well. And it's going to be well-deserved once he gets his hands on that world title once again to give him a full year plus run with the title, because the man is an absolute heel. The man is an absolute stud. The man is a box office attraction right now in the WWE. It's the reason why he's one of the reasons why business is booming right now in the WWE. That's how good Drew McIntyre has been booked. And I have to say that goes number one of things I'm gonna say. Now, number two is storytelling. Triple H has been a great storyteller this year in the WWE. The storylines have been great. They've been tremendous. There are so many good storylines right now in the WWE happening outside the WWE and World Heavyweight Championship scene. I mean, we have feuds of Drew McIntyre, CM Punk. We have the feud of Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa, what's going to kick off for the Bloodline. We have Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, the love triangle storyline with themselves and Dominic Mysterio, all tangled in one. We have the storyline that's about to kick off between Damian Priest and Finn Balor. The list goes on and on of how many good stories we got in this year and the storylines that are hitting right now at its peak. And we're in the second half of 2024. This is what you start on the road to WrestleMania. No, we have a lot of compelling storylines that's going to be cooking up in the pot, brewing to give us some quality storylines for the end of 2024. And Triple H, we all know he's a long time storyteller, and this is going to be perfection. When all these storylines that I just mentioned hit the finish line, you're going to sit back and say, wow, absolute perfection. Because that's what Triple H and WWE do best at this moment. Storytelling is at an all-time high. And you see the storytelling throughout the matches. I mean, everybody, it depends what you like nowadays in wrestling. I like a mix of wrestling and the storytelling in between the match because it makes me more compelled, more glued. It makes my attention span there, knowing that there's a story being told instead of hitting 50 super kicks or so many high-risk maneuvers. I just like it both. That's just my opinion as a wrestling fan. But now, last but not least, I have to say there's been a lot of things that have been great, but the third thing has to go of Cody Rhodes finally finishing story. Now, honestly, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, Night 2, WrestleMania 40, in my opinion, is the greatest wrestling match of 2024 throughout all wrestling promotions across the board in the world of wrestling today, throughout WWE, AEW, TNA, New Japan Pro Wrestling. That match had the wrestling, the storytelling, and the Avengers ending. When you had the Usos, you had Solo Sikoa, John Cena, The Rock, Seth Rollins, The Undertaker, all involved in one match. And it's set up for a compelling story ending when Cody Rhodes finally finishing his story, winning the WWE title. And I think that's to go down as a more better ending to a WrestleMania the best ending to a WrestleMania that I've seen in a very long time. And I will put that moment of Cody Rhodes winning the WWE title over Daniel Bryan becoming the undisputed WWE World Heavyweight Champion in the main event of WrestleMania 30. So I just had to say that moment right there was one of the greatest moments of WrestleMania history with Cody Rhodes finishing his story. Now, moving on to the worst booking decision in 2024 for Triple H. Bayley's women's world title reign. What happened? What happened? Because after the fact that Bayley won the women's world title, which was well deserved, which she defeated Io Sky, and earlier this year won the women's Royal Rumble, she just lost the title against Nia Jax at SummerSlam. And I don't know, I don't have really anything positive to say other than the triple threat match that she had with Tiffany Stratton and Naomi at Backlash. It just came and went, and that's very unfortunate because the booking wasn't there. Bayley was very bland to me on the microphone, telling stories as a babyface with this title reign. I think that she's just more natural as a heel, but there was really nothing for her in her title reign. She didn't feud with Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, Naomi, rarely. Not really Tiffany Stratton either. I mean, what was there really to like about this title reign that Bayley had? And when she really got a true contender in Nia Jax, the title was dropped. I just feel like that was definitely one of the biggest disappointments in 2024. I thought somebody that did not hold the women's world title for a very long time was going to do much more with it. But you can only do what you're given, right? So I feel for Bayley there. Next one. Triple H fumbling Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. Now, right now, Bobby Lashley isn't even under WWE contract, and it seems like he's a free agent. Triple H has honestly fumbled Bobby Lashley. Vince McMahon booked Bobby Lashley like a monster. Helped him win WWE titles, the United States title, was a part of the Hurt Business, the Intercontinental title. Vince McMahon booked Bobby Lashley when he came back in 2018 like a monster. And I understand that nobody can always get world title shots. Not everybody can be the world title scene. But Triple H didn't even get this man a WrestleMania 39 match. I mean, his match with Brock Lesnar also during Triple H's reign last year was also really a miss rather than a hit on the road to WrestleMania. Instead of having that match at WrestleMania, gave it to us at the Elimination Chamber. And the Street Profits are one of the best tag teams that the WWE has to offer, but they're really on the sideline, sitting on the shelf on a weekly basis on a Friday night episode of SmackDown. So I feel like what this faction was created a year ago, they had a lot of hype, a lot of potential. They could have used a manager, someone like MVP. They have a Hurt Business 2.0. You turn them heel, you turn them face. Then you gave him a WrestleMania match against Karrion Kross and the rest of his goons at WrestleMania 40. That's really the only highlight I could say that Triple H is booking-wise with Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. So unfortunate, and I hope Bobby comes back, but seems like he's done with the WWE. Now, last but not least, the inconsistency of Monday Night Raw being so good and Friday Night SmackDown being so bland. And I don't know what's going on, because if you put it on paper, both rosters are stacked men. The main event scene, the tag team scene, the women's card, the women's division, the mid card, they're both stacked top for bottom. But the fact that I could be more engaged in a 3-hour Monday Night Raw episode compared to a 2-hour Friday Night SmackDown episode, and if I miss it, I'm like, what am I really missing this week on the Friday Night SmackDown episode other than the Bloodline storyline? That's sad, because SmackDown does not have the great storylines and multiple great storylines that Monday Night Raw has to offer right now. I mean, all across the board, you have the Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley storylines and etc. I could keep going on about that, but SmackDown has mismanaged their talent. And they still have AJ Styles. They still have Bianca Belair, Naomi. How long can you really have Jade Cargill with Bianca Belair holding her hand? She's been with the company for a year. Bobby Lashley, the Street Profits. This show cannot always be overshadowed by the new Bloodline storyline or Cody Rhodes being the WWE champion. No, you have so much to offer on this Friday Night SmackDown roster. Especially, they have the best women's division and all three brands of Raw and NXT right now, and I feel like they haven't really hit their mark or hit their stride of how to really properly use them since WrestleMania. And I think, and the SmackDown Tag Team division has really been lackluster as well. So I think Triple H and the WWE have to really have a sit-down conversation and find a way of how Raw or how SmackDown can match their energy of Raw on a weekly basis, because it is really noticeable as a fan of wrestling. So again, those are my 3 best booking decisions and 3 worst booking decisions of Triple H in the calendar year 2024. That is all the time I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. This is your host, Thomas Tyree, signing off. And I'll see you guys on next week's episode.